She says she's being fat-shamed and the target of racist comments on social media after the debut of her new video, Rumors.
All the rumors are true.
It's a collaboration with a pregnant Cardi B. She's now addressing the comments head-on.
It's fatphobic. And it's racist and it's hurtful.
Ironically, lyrics in the song deal with body shaming. Wearing a wig cap, she shares her pain.
It's like it doesn't matter how much positive energy you put into the world, you're still gonna have people who have something.
There's a lovely young lady on TikTok that actually explained this whole case, and she broke it down. I'm going to have you have a listen, and then I will come back with my commentary.
So I just read through all 37 pages of the lawsuit against Lizzo, her production company, and the captain of her dance squad. And wow, there is a lot in here. I want to try to just give you the highlights and also not get banned because some of this stuff is pretty wild. There are 9 different complaints in this lawsuit. Some of the complaints are all of the plaintiffs against all of the defendants being Lizzo, her production company, and her dance captain, Shirley Quigley. And some of the complaints are just 1 or 2 of the plaintiffs against maybe 1 or 2 of the defendants. The first complaint is hostile work environment. The second complaint is failure to prevent and/or remedy hostile work environment. Third is religious harassment. Fourth is failure to prevent and/or remedy religious harassment. Fifth is racial harassment. Sixth is disability discrimination. Seventh is intentional interference with prospective economic. 8 is assault. And 9 is false imprisonment. So 2 of the dancers we met on Lizzo's show, Watch Out for the Big Girls, and the third dancer was hired a little bit later. And we also met the dance captain, Shirley Quigley, who is named as a defendant in this suit. So a lot of major claims in this lawsuit center around the dance captain, Shirley Quigley. And it seems, according to this lawsuit, like she was just this uber religious woman, and she was constantly trying to like talk about the Lord and trying to convert people, and people were uncomfortable with it, and she was preaching about how premarital sex was bad. And then when she found out one of the dancers in this lawsuit, Ariana Davis, was a virgin, she became like obsessed with this and would just like bring it up and talk about it all the time, which obviously made her really uncomfortable. But then it's like really strange because then even though she's like uber religious and preaching all these things, she would also like talk about weird sexual things in front of them. And they said that she had this like what was called a party trick where she would use a banana to simulate, you know what I'm saying, with her mouth. And it was like a thing she did. They say in this lawsuit that it didn't stop there with Quigley, and that like in addition to like doing this like faux simulation with the banana, she would talk about how like pleasing yourself, you know, is against her religion. But then she'd be like, but oops, today I had an oopsie, which is just like strange. And they said like that, you know, she would talk about these sort of like sexually explicit comments so much that the entire dance team knew that her fantasy was having, let me see how I can put this, 10 eggplants in her face. They all knew this, apparently. Another of the allegations in the suit is that after performances, Lizzo would invite the dancers out for a night on the town. And then one night in Amsterdam, she had this whole event like in the red light district at this like club where there was like nude cabaret performers. And Ariana Davis says that like, you know, she really didn't want to participate, but like she was being egged on and basically forced to, you know, touch the breast of one of the performer, even though she didn't want to. So what the dancers allege in the suit is that like, even though they didn't want to go to these places and they felt uncomfortable, they felt they had to for job security, because they said it was just sort of this like unspoken, you know, thing that dancers who participated in these extracurriculars got preferential treatment by Lizzo and had more job security. Now, where the racial discrimination comes in, the dancers say that the management team was mostly white people, and that the production team treated the Black members of the dance team differently than other members, and that allegedly they accused the Black members of the dance team of being lazy, unprofessional, and having bad attitudes. So then, according to this lawsuit, they get back from the European part of this tour, and Lizzo's just like unhappy with all the dancers and says like, everyone has to re-audition and your jobs aren't safe. And if I don't like the way you audition, you're going to be fired. And that this audition allegedly turned into this 12-hour day where the dancers just felt like scared to even leave the stage or they were going to get fired. So the one dancer, Davis, said like she really had to use the bathroom, but was too scared. So ended up, urinating on herself. So then where the assault and false imprisonment comes in, so two of the dancers, Davis and Williams, were fired, and it was like kind of embarrassing how they did it. They kind of did it publicly. And the other dancer, Rodriguez, like didn't really like how that all went down. So she approached Lizzo and was like, I need to have a talk to you about how you handle the situation. And according to Rodriguez in this complaint, she said that Lizzo got really aggressive, approached her, cracking her knuckles, balling her fists, and exclaiming, "You're lucky, you're so effing lucky." And she says that she believes that Lizzo intended to hit her and would have done so if one of the other dancers hadn't intervened. And then the false imprisonment comes because Davis said that she had been accused of she had recorded a conversation that had happened, but she said that, she has this like anxiety disability where she like can't really process it in the moment. She needs to record things and listen to it later. And the management team and Lizzo were like, you recorded this conversation, got mad. So when they fired her, they like allegedly kept her in this room, like went through her phone until they could like see that she had deleted the file. There's still so much more to unpack with this lawsuit. And now I'm also seeing that other dancers are posting in their stories, sort of corroborating what the dancers in this lawsuit are saying and saying they had similar experiences. So I'm going to keep sharing more as I get more information.
People are so sensitive. People are so soft where like if you tell someone that they're fat, which to me, like in my country, when you tell someone that they're gaining weight or they're big, you letting them know that so they can kind of work on themselves, right? You're not telling them that to fat shame them or like make them feel bad about themselves. And I would think like if someone tell you that, you would take it and then take the criticism and do something about, all the weights that you're getting. But over here, it's like everybody's so sensitive. Everybody's just basically walking around eggshells, telling everybody, oh, you're big boned or you're thick, instead of saying, girl, you are about to die in a few years if you don't do something about your weight, kind of thing, right? But Lizzo have always come out and say, oh, I'm so proud of myself. She's crying on the internet, saying that people are fat shaming her, and she's, she loved the way she looked. And also the fact that she's a vegan and she never lose a pound. I have never seen Lizzo look any different from what she looked like when she first joined the music industry, right? She's always been this big, if not bigger. She's actually gained weight over time. But for her to allegedly be fat shaming her big girl dancers and then have a whole show about promoting big girls, to me it's very hypocritical. Is it not? Because you're trying to showcase how comfortable you are in your own skin, but you are trying to fat shame somebody else who is probably a bit skinnier than you. It always gives like, okay, well, I'm the mean girl, and because you're skinnier or because you are the same weight as me, I don't know how to take my own weight, so I'm going to shame you and try to make you lose weight. Because what she was telling the girl allegedly was, it doesn't seem like you're very serious about what the work because you're gaining weight. Girl, have you seen yourself in the mirror? Lizzo, I mean, yes, you have all this money, and I know people are probably going to try to say, oh, well, she's rich, so her being fat is not a problem. It's not a problem. Her being fat is not a problem, but don't try to portray it as if you're happy with being that weight, and then you're trying to bash other people for gaining weight, So it's like a double standard here. And then also, she was basically making them do like sexual stuff at Moulin Rouge in Paris. Like she was having them eat bananas protruding from the private parts of the dancers and stuff, which we don't really know how true that is. We don't know like how much of what they're saying is true, But the whole fat thing really took me out. When I was like, yo, not Lizzo try to fat shame people when she's like the biggest girl out there, and she's always trying to put her flat ass on people's face 24/7 as if she's so comfortable with it, and she wants to do this because she's comfortable and she's okay with it. But sis, you're really not okay with it, because at the end of the day, you are shaming this lady because you see her, you see yourself in her, you see that fat self in her, you see yourself in her, and you really want to say that to yourself, but you're not going to do that because you're a narcissist, right? You're not going to do that because you can't change it. You are not willing to change it. So therefore you have to try to talk somebody down. That's why that's like projection. She's projecting on those girls, calling them fat or telling them that they're gaining weight, when she's the one that she really, really wants to have that conversation with. She wants to have that conversation with herself, not really that person. I really hope all of this is just, just rumors and it's not true, because at the end of the day, girl, the way you make it seem like you're so proud of yourself, you're so proud of being a big girl, you're in the tub taking a bath and you're eating with the commercial of the Grubhub or Uber Eats or whatever, which one it is, but making it seem like you're so comfortable with being fat. You should be just as comfortable with having those girls around and not try to criticize them for gaining a few pounds. And is it just me that always seems like that I always notice, like Boots Ted from watching, like when I was watching Boots Tarot, is it just me that noticed that she always make her dancers look raggedy while she looked like really, really good in the front? So she put them there so she make herself look good. So she get like bigger girls to dance behind her so she can make herself look good, so she can look better. You know what I mean? Is it just me? Or what I'm saying is accurate? Because that's just what I'm getting. And Lizzo, please, girl, talk about what? You trying to make the big girls feel bad? Meanwhile, you're like almost 500 pounds? Girl, bye. I'm so done. I'm done. This is too much. This cheesecake with strawberry fudge. Amazing. Anyway, Lizzo, put the cheesecake down. I mean, because listen, put the cheesecake down and stop trying to talk down to people. Hi, girl.